Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Dojo Live recap show. That means it's Monday again. Today is Monday, December 20th, 2021. I'm Tulio Sirigusa, and I'm joined by Kim Lantis. Hi, welcome
Hey,
back.
hi. Rocking my grandma sweater today.
Yes, it's been chilly here in Southern California,
Here, we'll
and
see you
oddly,
too.
yes, oddly enough. But we had two live shows last week, and we're going to recap them inside of 10 minutes and announce what's coming up. We don't have much coming up. We're going to take a break till the end of the year, but we do have one show tomorrow morning,
Tomorrow.
and we'll talk about that in just a minute. We'll announce it. It's actually a new segment, and I'm very excited about it. But before we do that, let's just recap what we had last week. So we had two shows. We had Deep Varma, who's the CTO at Varo Bank, and we talked about using technology to build a bank for all. And
Hmm.
then we had Jennifer Wilde and Dan McClure, who are managing directors at Innovation Ecosystems, and we talked about bigger opportunities awaiting for you. Which of these two shows stood out, just popcorn, for you the most, Kim?
Well, I mean, I like them both. I always like our show. I don't. I think it's a very, very rare, if not impossible, occurrence to have a dud right on Dojo Live. But I like them both. I think the approach that innovation ecosystem takes less on the technology side, but more on the design side, right? And the thought I think that can lead up to the creation of technology. And I thought that was really neat. I mean, I think they're both, what they do, the very large world problems that they try to solve. And, my takeaway was really about asking questions and sort of maybe trying to simplify complexity. I think she used a real world example of how to approach child malnutrition, I think it is, in like Sudan or another country in the African continent. I can't remember off the top of my head, but that's not the point. The point is they kind of go through all these approaches, and really the simplest solution that they could come to was better educating the mothers, right? In and finding symptoms and things, and how to provide their children with nutrition, etc. And so I just think there's this idea of using simplicity to solve complexity. And I think that was just really my takeaway of what that might look like. And I'm interested in knowing more about that process.
It reminded me a lot. I don't know, 20, 30 years ago, we often talked about people, processes, and systems when it came to the adoption of software, for example, very early in the days of when there was a proliferation of software platform, whether they were resource planning software or supply chain management software, accounting, and et cetera, platforms. And many organizations instituted these systems and failed because they failed to take into consideration the fact that there are people involved, and then you have to build processes to support those people. And the systems is about automating or simplifying or getting more efficient. So I appreciated their mindset because they come from disaster like planning, right? They've worked with natural disasters and where you're dealing with literally an entire country or region. So there's a lot of people involved, and there's a lot of processes, and having systems to address these and finding innovative ways to address these is important. So I like their thinking in terms of creating an ecosystem, which is in their name, innovation ecosystem, around how to be effective to solve today's problems. I
For sure.
really enjoyed the I really enjoyed the conversation with Deep Varma, who's the CTO at Varo Bank, for a number
Very
of
good
reasons.
storyteller.
He's a great storyteller, and you could see and feel his passion for helping people, and his personal story of being an immigrant, where the first 10 years of his life here, he couldn't get credit, he couldn't get money when he needed it the most. And then he went through some success and had a few exits. No, he doesn't need anymore. He's financially independent, and everybody wanted to give him money. So I like when he says the system is broken. When that happens, those who need it the most have the most difficulty getting it, and those who don't need it, everybody's just throwing it at them. So And it tells the story of the Varo Bank and how they really centered what they're doing around the needs of people. And people have different needs based on their circumstances. Even just being able to, get a quick $25 advance because someone might need it for something. We don't think about that. Many of us, think, well, what's the big deal? It's
Yeah.
25 bucks. But to
See,
some
that
people,
was
that's a big deal.
the humanity. Like, I loved his story, how this happenstance at a gas pump of like, hey, sir, can I please have $20 to fill my gas tank? And the natural, sorry, my daughters, if you can hear them. This natural, first response a lot of times is like, ugh. But he took the time to say, all right, tell me more. And it turned out, eventually, this man had a very legitimate reason and even paid deep back at some point. But it led to this ability of Varo Bank's customers, users, to get an advance without any fees, right? I think of like $20 or $25, and then a very small fee for like, as you kind of increment that. And just very people first company. I think of, as he described himself, I think it's a customer fanatic. So any of you tech companies that are out there who are customer fanatics, check out the show, check out Varo Bank. I think it would be something that would interest you.
Absolutely. I was so moved by what they're doing and how they think about this that I invited him back on a new segment that we're starting. We're starting a design thinking segment. And my approach to design thinking is a little bit unique in the sense that the focus is really on empathy and how you solve people problem, not transactional challenges or systems problems, but the associated people involved and the feelings that you can create for people with your products and your service offering, not just the solution that you're offering. It's the feeling that you create. So there's a lot of talk about empathy in that show, and I thought he would be a perfect guest because what they've done is they've institutionalized the idea of empathy. They have created an approach that understands that everybody has different needs at different times in their lives, and you have to cater to that in order to solve people problems, not transactional problems. So the first show will be tomorrow at 10 a.m. It's the last Dojo Live of the year and the first of its kind. It's a design thinking show with Tullius Ragusa. I'll be hosting that show. We have a great guest. We have the CEO of a technology company, and we're going to be talking about AI and software and how innovation can better align boards with organizations. And so that's the conversation we're going to have. And that is with, you'll have to forgive me, I have to look it up real quick. Quickly, tell a joke while I look it up.
It's Parun Chatra.
There it is.
On board, I believe.
Yes, on board. So come back 10 a.m. tomorrow. We're going to talk about how they've designed this product and this company and talk a lot about innovation and strategy and empathy. And after that show, we'll be back in the new year. And so we wish everyone a great week and a happy end to this year and hopefully a much better one next year with, let's all hope, the end of this pandemic comes.
At least for me. I'll tell you
all.
what, 2021 put me through the ringer. But I thought 2020 was bad, and then hello.
Yes, right. Let's hope round 3 is the KO that we need for this pandemic. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again 10 a.m. tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific. And be safe and have fun.